Hello, I'm John Roberts, and welcome to the CBS Evening News online edition. Just ahead, alarming clues in the deadly attack in Mosul have American forces on high alert. We'll have the details. Also, the debate over same-sex marriage returns to the courts as a major city challenges its own state law. And illegal immigrants living in fear in a state that's determined to drive them out. It's all starting now on the CBS Evening News online edition. It wasn't a rocket attack after all. Investigators in Iraq now believe that somehow a suicide bomber got inside a crowded mess hall tent on an American base yesterday. The blast killed 13 U.S. military personnel, 5 American civilian contractors, 3 Iraqi soldiers, and 1 other person, probably the bomber himself. The lunchtime attack at the base near Mosul also wounded nearly 70 people, most of them American troops. Correspondent Kimberly Dozier begins our coverage.
U.S. troops sealed off much of Mosul today, vowing to find those responsible for the devastating attack at forward operating base Meres.
It's a feeling of resolve. We're not going to be intimidated by these thugs. We are going to get the job done.
In the wreckage of the mess tent, FBI investigators believe they've found the remains of a suicide bomber's torso attached to some sort of belt or backpack.
At this point, it looks like it was an improvised explosive device worn by an attacker.
There were also metal pellets scattered around the tent, which were apparently packed around the explosive designed to tear through the crowd. Militant group Ansar al-Sunna had claimed one of its operatives carried out the attack. That means a bomber managed to get past stringent security, reaching the most vulnerable and crowded spot on the base. The mess tent was always an area of concern. Chief Medical Officer Major John Nelson told embedded reporter Bill Nemitz he was so convinced it would be hit, he designed a mass casualty plan.
It was a very extensive, very detailed plan that dealt with every level of response. Rather prophetically, Major Nelson looked me in the eye and said, "It's not a question of if it happens, it's a question of when it's going to happen."
Over the past year, U.S. bases across the country have been replacing their tent-style dining facilities with concrete and steel buildings. But the pace of construction has been left to individual commanders, according to their assessment of the threat. At Camp Meres, contractor delays and a shortage of concrete slowed completion of a new hardened facility. But if this does prove to be the work of a bomber who set off an explosion inside the mess hall, the delays could be a blessing. The tent roof allowed much of the force of the blast to escape. A closed concrete facility would have trapped and concentrated the explosion, making the blast even deadlier. Kimberly Dozier, CBS News, Baghdad.
What's expected to be a long and emotional legal battle opened today in California, pitting the state against one of its biggest cities. At stake is the status of same-sex marriages, an issue that has divided the entire nation. John Blackstone has the inside story.
When San Francisco's mayor threw open City Hall to almost 4,000 unconventional weddings 10 months ago, it was in defiance of state law that bans same-sex marriage. Today, the city, along with a dozen gay and lesbian couples, went to court, claiming the ban is unconstitutional.
It's about the recognition, but it's about really being able to protect each other and protect our relationship and our families.
Back in March, Paulie Cooper and Jeannie Rizzo were in line to get their license when the state Supreme Court ordered the marriages to stop.
God!
You came this close.
We came within inches and minutes.
So Rizzo and Cooper joined the suit challenging state law.
The country's in a dialogue now. It was not in the same dialogue a year and a half ago. This is good.
They want to steal marriage. They want to trash your vote.
Those defending the ban on same-sex marriage say their goal is to protect children.
We want to protect this enduring and beautiful institution.
For the city of San Francisco, the lawsuit is an opportunity to argue that the marriages performed at City Hall were justified and that the state ban on same-sex marriage may be the law, but it's wrong.
Marriage is a fundamental right, not to be denied to anybody, and that gay and lesbian couples are looking for nothing special.
When all those San Francisco weddings were declared invalid, the state Supreme Court said it's not up to the mayor to interpret the Constitution. It's up to the courts. And now the courts will decide this issue, which raises so many hopes and fears. John Blackstone, CBS News, San Francisco.
A controversial initiative on illegal immigration became state law today in Arizona, released for now after a federal judge lifted a restraining order. But illegal immigrants aren't the only Arizonans who will feel the impact of the law, as Jerry Bowen explains in tonight's Eye on America.
The only thing hotter than the peppers being picked along the Arizona side of the border with Mexico these days is reaction to Arizona's voter-approved Prop 200, aimed at weeding out illegal immigrants, cutting off their public benefits, and sending them back home.
These people still flood across, and they're ruining our healthcare system, they're ruining our schools.
From Walter Colby's backyard, you could see Mexico.
See the trail coming through here?
And the backpacks and water bottles abandoned by the nightly wave of illegals crossing over.
We were saying to our politicians, if you're against it, then do something. Stop this raping of our country.
It was 10 years ago that Angelita sneaked across to work as a housekeeper, a church volunteer, and raise her family. Now she's afraid to show her face.
10 years have passed, and I live in fear in a country that can at any moment send me back to Mexico.
Angelita is in the Prop 200 bullseye because she's still illegal. So's her oldest daughter. Only her youngest girl is safe, a citizen, born in the USA.
The oldest asks why. Why can't we be accepted as Americans, all of us?
It's now about $500,000 a year.
Hospital Administrator Jim Dixon says soaring health care costs for illegals in border towns like Bisbee, Arizona, helped fan the fires of Prop 200.
It'll probably cost all the hospitals to close on the border if we don't start doing something about it.
Prop 200 doesn't just target illegals. State-funded workers, like the receptionists and doctors at this rural clinic, face fines and jail time if they don't turn in undocumented patients.
I won't do it. They'll have to arrest me, really, because I won't do it.
The move to block illegal immigration across this border triggered some surprising support. Nearly half of Arizona's Latino voters, 47%, voted for Prop 200, voted for cutting off benefits to the newest arrivals from south of the border.
The federal court's ruling today means the law can take effect immediately, but critics say it will be very costly if enforced, especially if frightened illegals avoid health care to avoid being caught.
As you have immigration across the border, diseases come. And so if the people who are here do not receive care, we cannot control the disease pattern.
But Arizonans voted their frustration.
I'm afraid it's going to turn violent if somebody doesn't listen to us.
With an appeal already in the works, this is one fight that is far from over. In Bisbee, Arizona, I'm Jerry Bowen for Eye on America.
More stories are just a click away, but be sure to join me on television for the on-air edition of the CBS Evening News. On Thursday's broadcast, in this season of giving, it's what's being taken away that has one pastor fired up. We'll tell you why. For CBSNews.com, I'm John Roberts.